What's happening, folks? Back for another music video reaction, and we're going to watch another one from Tears for Fears. Now, I noted this song, Change, is from their 1983 album The Hurting, but the music video doesn't seem to be available on the official Tears for Fears page, which is to say, I follow that page, and I think the other reactions I've done from them have been from their own channel, but I couldn't find this one on there, and the only place that I seemed to find it was on a third-party channel, so not sure the history about that, and perhaps it relates to licensing or something to that effect, but either way, we're going to watch what seems to be the original video for Change from the 1983 album The Hurting, though I don't know for sure if the video was made in the same year. Sometimes they come a year later, even sometimes in relation to a single before the album comes out, but I assume it's from 1983. And yeah, this is another tune that, as I mentioned, when I went into the TFF deep dive, I was aware of a couple of their big hits from the mid-80s, particularly from the songs from the Big Chair album, which is to say Shout and Everybody Wants to Rule the World. But this song, along with Pale Shelter, have become two of my very favorites from them overall, and I think they're actually more compelling tunes in some ways than their bigger hits. Now, don't get me wrong, Shout in particular I will always love. It's just a brilliant tune from beginning to end. But I do think this and Pale Shelter are on the same level. And I love the xylophone run of this one. I love some of the lines about, we walk and talk in time, which is to say, we humans like to speak about qualities and characteristics like they're timeless and unchanging. We speak of principles and attitudes that we supposedly hold in perpetuity, but the reality is real time is always passing. Conditions change, circumstances change, the nature of associations change, and even our own opinions and attitudes change on a long enough timeline or in light of certain events and argumentation. And thus, change is always taking place, even though we like to see ourselves as this steadfast rock of consistency. So yeah, I love the lines in the tune, I like the sonics, and I like the progression. I like the sequencing of the tune. So let's give it a watch. This is the original video, as it lists here, for Tears for Fears and their song Change, included on their 1983 debut album, The Hurting. I'll try to be limited. This is a perfect shot to pause it on in the amount of times I pause over the course of this. But number one, again, I love seeing the concepts that they had visually for songs, and that's one of the cool things about going through music videos, even for songs I've already reacted to in audio form. But I do have to note, people commented on Curt's rat tail very early on, and that certainly still seems to be present. Also, there's this reflective images, people walking into buildings, and we're seeing them through the mirrored windows or glass of the building. And then it seemed like Curt was almost in two places at once, because I thought it was him walking into the building as shown in the reflection, but then it pans up and he's standing by the railing singing. And then, there's people in cloaks with masks, and then here we see this, somewhat grotesque mask. So I wonder, the choices behind some of these visuals, how they relate or where they came from in the production of the video.
I
I genuinely thought that was a statue. I really didn't think that was an actual person. Well, that's awesome. And we can say that Roland always does have those dance moves, doesn't he? Whether it's overt sort of breakdance style or here sort of that a little bit, but mixed with kind of visual art, like, creative, what's the right word? It's like performance art. It's sort of, trying to embody some of the sounds that we're hearing and movements specifically to the sonic parts, but yeah, it has a almost like ballet quality to it, so breaking meets ballet, I guess. But yes, enjoy Roland's dance moves and apparently Curt's face as well. But yes, he meaning Curt definitely has like good vocals on it, and I like the way he goes from those long drawn out lines that lead into the chorus, or like I guess the pre-chorus, into the like abrupt and sudden change that comes to initiate the chorus. And I think there's a bit of conceptualism there, the idea of like periods of gradual becoming. What is the line where like when is it when a thought becomes a point of view, so like something that's momentary becomes a more long-term thing, and then suddenly there's interruptions to that, and there's periods of more rapid adjustment or accommodation or change. So I feel like even some of the vocals are expressing the concepts explored in the song. And that line also, what was it like? When does the end of me become the start of you? Which of course relates to the idea that it's not just one person in time, it's everyone is thinking and walking and talking in time, and when there are associations between people, those are dynamic, and suddenly one person's views might begin to influence another person, but then maybe the way that a personal relationship is headed will lead to someone rejecting a way that they've been before. And again, I think there's a couple lines in there like, when did you lose your, what is it? I forget exactly what the lines are, but they're talking about certain characteristics or qualities that are not consistent, and people losing attributes over time. So yeah, I think there's a lot of like conceptual creativity going on here, as well as some funny and silly dancing. So yeah, it's another cool video. Again, I wonder why I couldn't seem to find this on the Tears for Fears YouTube page itself. Maybe there's an explanation. Maybe they just eventually didn't like this video and they wanted to not have it as part of their video catalog. But either way, I think it's cool, and I do love those xylophones. So let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.